Hey everybody, so I'm doing my top 9 games of all the games I've played during the month of May. Now I understand it's almost June or the end of June now, so I'm a little bit late on this one, but it's COVID vaccine season and I work in a pharmacy. So let's have a look at the stats for the month of May. I have played 42 times on 29 different games and ended up playing about 9% of my game collection. So let's go and have a look at which my number 9 is. So for my number 9, I have Between Two Cities. Between Two Cities really feels like a co-op game, even though it is not. With this one, it's a tile drafting game. Every round you're going to be handed a group of tiles. You're going to go through and you're going to select 2. And then with those 2 tiles, one is going to go into the city to your right and the city to your left that you are building with the person to your right and the person to your left. So lots of collaborating going on. But the winner is whoever has the highest score. And the tricky thing is that you will be scoring your lowest city. So it's really important that you try to make both of your cities as high scoring as possible. Depending on the different tiles that gets in there, how the placement of the tiles are put together, and you know the different combination that you have going on, it'll score differently. So yeah, person with the highest score at the end wins, but keep in mind you are scoring your lowest scoring city. So that was our number 9. For number 8, it was Smash Up. Smash Up gets its name because you play as 2 very different factions that you shuffle together. So you could be the Ninja Ghost, or you could be the Killer Plant Zombies, or you could be the Robot Buccaneer. The combinations are really endless, and then of course there's a lot of expansion with this game, and I bought this one secondhand and it came with 2 expansions, so there's a lot of options that you can group together. With this one, definitely it's more of a take that game, but the goal is that you are trying to score the base that are in the middle of the table, and that's going to give you certain value of points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. You'll be playing your character or an action each round. Actions can affect other people's things that they're doing or even improve what you're doing. It's very possible that your characters do that as well. So you might play a character on a base that allows you to remove somebody else's character of a value of 2 or lower, or different things like that. This is what the base looks like. So first place will score so many points, second another amount of points, and third a different amount of points. And not always is first place going to score the highest point. Most of the time it does, but it's not always the case. Really neat, interesting game, as long as you're okay with the take that element. Next game, or on our top 9, so we're at number 7 now, and for number 7, it's the Manhattan Project Chain Reaction. So Manhattan Project is a worker placement game. It's a really good worker placement game, but the Chain Reaction one is a card version of that game. So you are still going around hiring laborers and scientists and engineers and collecting the resource of yellow cakes, and I believe it's plutonium, to create bombs. And depending on the bombs that you create, what the value of the bomb is. And if you're able to arm that bomb, it's going to be worth a little bit extra as well. First player to build enough bomb to reach the, I can't remember how many victory points that you need, but the first one to reach that certain amount of victory point is the winner. This one, I believe, was a Kickstarter copy, because although the resources are available in cards, this one actually comes with little wooden tokens for the yellow cake and the plutonium, so it's a really neat looking game. For number 6 in the month of May was Alhambra. Alhambra is an older game, 2003, but it's definitely, for me, tested the test of time. It's still a really good one. What's really interesting with this one is you are building your Alhambra, which I believe is like your market square or something like that. So it's tile drafting. You'll be buying tiles to add to your village square. The different things, however, is you will be buying these tiles from 4 different builders, and each builders come from a different region, and each of those builders needs to be paid in their own currency. So during your turn, you will either collect money or purchase a tile. The money that you collect will have 4 different currencies, so you could be buying the blue money or grabbing some of the green money or the yellow money and so on. And then if you want to buy the blue tile or the tile that's in the blue space, then you have to pay him in blue money. If you play the exact amount, you get a bonus for that. Otherwise, you're just overpaying a little bit. The neat things with this game too is as you're flipping the money cards, you will have scoring cards that will appear all of a sudden, and then the game pauses as everybody scores what they've built so far. The player with the most of a certain color will get to score top value for that particular color. You also get to score the wall that you are building around your Alhambra. I found this one to be very interesting. For an older game, it's still really good. I very much enjoyed this. Now, for our number 5 in the month of May, it was Tiny Epic Pirates. So the version I played is actually my friend's copy, and she had her son custom paint all of their little boats to match all the boats from Pirates of the Caribbean, and it looks amazing. So in this one, Tiny Epic game, you have the rondel that kind of controls the movement that you have. You're each pirate and you're going around the ocean, going from island to island, collecting goods, selling goods, finding treasures, and burying your treasures. You want to avoid storms, and there's lots going on. I was very impressed with this one. This is a really neat Tiny Epic game. Might be my favorite one so far, but I've only played it that one time. I own this copy, but I just haven't received it yet, so I'm waiting for that to come in so I can play it some more. But let me give you a few closer look on the player board. So this is the player board. You have the rondel that'll show which movements you'll be doing, and then on the other side, keeping track of your resources and as you're leveling up. And then as well, just kind of look closer at the great work that was done on these boats. These boats are normally just plastic boats that are all yellow, all red, all blue. So my friend's son did an amazing job. Kudos, Riley. Now for number 4 in the month of May, we played Civilization: A New Dawn. This was actually a Facebook Marketplace find for me. A friend of mine was selling it, and then I ended up buying that and a few other games. And this one was actually, all the pieces were still wrapped, never been played. And that's very kudos to me. I'm a big fan of Civilization games for some reason, and this one definitely did not disappoint. The really neat thing about this one is you have 5 different actions that you can do, so different abilities of your nation. In different elements, so different science or different technologies that you can apply. And as you play the game, you'll be upgrading those ones as you develop your technologies. Now, they go from 1 to 5. It will control which terrain you can build on, as well as how powerful the action will be. So if you're building in the 5th position, and you can build in the mountains or any other terrain, so you don't have any terrain restriction, and it's also the most powerful location. Once you utilize that action at that level, though, it gets shifted back to the 1st position and everything shifts up. So understanding that concept and when to activate which action when, and trying to manipulate so the ones you want to do are higher up on that chart. Really interesting. The components are great as well. Just a closer look here. Everybody gets with a different nation that gets different abilities. This is a copy of the board. You're building your cities. Once you've built everything or something all around your city, then your city is mature and will give you extra bonuses as you play. You can send out caravans that will visit other cities, either the opponent's players or some neutral cities that will give you extra abilities as well. Really good game, and for a Civilization game, it plays fairly quickly, between 1 to 2 hours. So this was a great one for sure. Now, number 3 for the month of May is Mystic Vale. Mystic Vale is one of my favorite games. It's a deck building game. Not really, well, card crafting game. With this one, you start with 20 cards and you will end with 20 cards. But as you play, it has a strong push your luck element to it because you start with your deck and you'll be revealing one card one at a time and deciding whether you will put it in your play area. If you ever reveal too many decays, that is the red symbol, you bust and you end up doing nothing. Otherwise, if you don't bust, whatever it is that you have revealed, you will count the blue orbs, and that turns out to be your purchasing power to buy these transparent cards to slide into your sleeves, so making each cards more powerful as you go. It's a great game. You have a certain amount of victory points that you'll be collecting from, a pool of victory points you'll be collecting from. When you've kind of taken the last one that triggers the end of the game, there's one final round to go, and whoever has the most victory points is the winner. Amazing, amazing game. Number 2 for the month of May was legendary James Bond deck building game. So this was actually a Father's Day gift that was gifted a little bit early, since Father's Day is in June. But we ended up giving that one to Lee a little bit early and got playing it. We had played the Alien one, but he's a big James Bond fan, so we thought we would try it out. It plays very much like the legendary game, where you have the cards getting revealed and shifting through and going through, and you're trying to make sure that they do not escape. Because like having the villain escape and trying to defeat them before they do. Great game. Each scenario plays a different movies, and it gives you different things that you're trying to accomplish. I kind of like how the scenarios are so different and what you're trying to do in the game. You'll collect wound that'll just clutter up your hand. It doesn't actually seem to kill you, but it'll just kind of get a bunch of wound that clutters up your hand, makes it harder for you to accomplish the different missions you need to do. We really enjoyed this one. And then for my number 1 for the month of May, and that's the final game for the month of May, I guess, Chronicle of Crime. I just simply love this game. This is an app-driven game, so you play with the cards on the board, but then a lot of the action actually happens on your phone. And it's so very well made. So this is a whodunit type of game. There's a murder that takes place. You're a detective, and you go on the scene of the crime. And the first thing you can do is utilizing your phone and looking around, seeing what you can see, because it does kind of have that 3D image. You see what you notice. So maybe there's a weapon, maybe there's food, so anything that you notice, you'll pull those cards, and you can scan the cards to see what you notice about them. If there's a witness on site, you can go and talk to the witness. Then while you have the witness logged on your phone, you can scan the other cards to ask the witness about the weapons or the victim, and so on. So well made. Love this game. So that was my number 1 game, but for honorable mention of all the other game I've played, we have Bonanza in 10th place, Vampire Queen, which is an amazing trick-taking game, in place 11. Carcassonne, always a crowd pleaser. Love Letter, amazing. Dr. Eureka's a new one. It's been a fun dexterity game. 15th place, I have Sherlock 13. I was really pleased with this one. It has a very strong clue feel to it, but it doesn't have any of that movement stuff. It's really straightforward deduction game, asking questions, finding out what people have, and trying to figure out who the murderer is. And then we have Arcane Academy, What Do You Mean? That was the family edition. Dealt Wordsy, which is probably my favorite word game because it's not based on the alphabet that is in front of you. You can use any alphabet you want, letters of the alphabet that you want. You just score the one on the table. Tiny Epic Western, Chrononauts, which is a really interesting time-traveling card game. Guillotine, Star Trek Flux, What the Heck, Exploding Kittens, Munchkin, and then Uno Flip and Uno, because those are my kids' favorite game. So that's it for me today, but if you want to follow me on Facebook, I'm Board Game Mama on YouTube, or Instagram, I'm BoardGame_Mama, and then on Facebook is Didsbury and Area is playing all the games. Stay tuned for the month of June to see which top 9 games are for the month of June. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.